pretty passionate about helping bumblebees survive. And I'm going to show you what you can do in the fall to help bees overwinter and save the queen bumblebees. Spotting a queen bumblebee brings me pure delight. Seeing those extra big, extra fluffy ladies is an absolute thrill. My shorts with queen bees get big views, so I know lots of other people do too. I'm going to show you 5 things that you can do in the fall to help the queen bumblebees overwinter. Let me show you. Queen bees get snuggly in the fall. I've got 3 big maple trees around my house that drop their leaves, and guess what? I'm not going to clean them up. What it will do is create an overwintering habitat. Queen bees leave their mother's nest in the fall and find a spot to bury themselves about 2 to 6 inches underground until spring. So these leaves that fall, you need to leave them where they are so that it will insulate the ground in the nooks and crannies that the queen bumblebees can find to snuggle up in underground. Speaking of snuggling up, you may have noticed my hat. This hat is from Bee Lovely Shop, linked in the description in the first comment below. I want you to go to the Bee Lovely Shop and see if there's something you love. Emily has lots of flowery and cozy things. Tell her Leah Flowers sent you. Since they are queens, they may want to overwinter in a fortress. Back behind my shed, it is an ideal spot for overwintering queen bees because that's where I have a brush pile. A brush pile creates a fortress of twigs, branches, debris, where a queen bee may zoom through and pick a spot to bury herself for the winter. The trimmings of my smoke bush, my dogwood, my sumac. It's where I throw weeds I've pulled. There's rose and lavender scraps, you name it. If a queen bee finds a spot open to the ground in here somewhere, bam, it's great, warm, and protected over winter. Okay, knowing that the queen bees overwinter in the ground, to maximize keeping the queens safe over winter, you'll need to minimize disturbing the ground. Let's think. In the garden, where we let the plants die back, we let the leaves fall, that's where the queens may be. So let's not step there. Instead, use pathways. Set yourself up to travel and trample pathways so that everywhere else is where queen bees could winter. In my backyard, I have formal pathways, but on my side yard, it's a work in progress. But you can see where I travel the same path over and over, trampling the same spots. Wait, I can hear you shouting at your screen. Gardeners have to get in the garden. We can't reach everything. We gotta get in there. Yep, we do. So let's use stepping stones. Place stepping stones in strategic spots that will allow you to access your plants from within the garden as necessary. But what this is doing is saving you the spot you need to step and keeping it consistent so the queen bees can burrow safely everywhere else. Is anyone else realizing now that we are giants? Do giants exist? Yes, we do. Next, let's talk about party time. When is the party? The party starts around the time of year when you think about putting on a jacket or a sweater to go outside, and it's just starting to get cold. When the weather gets cool, the young queen bumblebees leave the nest. They go out to drink and eat and to get fat for winter hibernation. So they're looking for nectar and pollen from flowers. Things get a little wild out there. There are also male bumblebees out there at the flowers, getting food and drink and looking for young queens to mate with. This is all necessary for the new queen's colony next year. She'll take the fertilization in the fall and use it to lay her eggs next spring and summer. What you need to do in your garden in the fall is provide the blooms. The flowers are where the party is at, so don't cut them back. Flowers like echinacea, purple coneflower, rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan, aster, cosmos, marigold, and calendula are still blooming in my garden at party time. You might be eager to cut back flowers to keep them looking tidy, knowing frost might be coming and you want to get ahead of getting cleanup done. But don't. Let those late bloomers live out their best life and host some bumblebee parties. Bumblebees use their fuzz and buzz to keep them warm, while other bees have called it quits for the cold season. When does the party end? The party ends around when you've decided to turn on the heat in your house. When it's too cold, the queen bees have found a spot to snuggle up for the winter and the party's over. There's one last thing you can do to support the overwintering queen bumblebees, and that's to look ahead to the spring and be aware of the early bloomers, the very early bloomers. Like I said, these queens will use their fuzz and buzz to stay warm, so they will emerge and start to forage before any other bees, while the temperatures are still cool. So, to prepare now, consider planting bulbs like daffodils or hyacinth. Try to get those planted before it's too cold, or you could be disturbing the queens beginning their hibernation. Or, if you're feeling wild like me, consider some weeds like creeping Charlie ground ivy and dandelions. And by consider the weeds, I mean don't pull them out. Leave them. And especially, please, no chemical sprays, no herbicides. Now you have 5 things you can do in the fall to support the queen bumblebees. And remember to support Bee Lovely Shop to find your own snuggly stuff in the link in the description and the comments.